Hello guys, welcome to my new guide video. This will be a deck guide for Light Darkness Nature Control. I have the deck laid out here for you, and I have separated it to 3 parts. In this first part of the video I'll go through the deck. Then in the second part I will go through the matchups and how those usually go. And then in the third part I will have an example game from one of the it's actually a CIDC game that we'll be going through as an example. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'll start off with the defensive cards of the deck, and as the first defense we have let's separate this a bit. We have Felix the Explorer. So it's a 2-mana 3k blocker. The downside is if there's a spell in mana, you will have to take it to hand. But this deck has so many creatures that's not really a problem. We can just charge creature on turn 1 and on turn 2, then play Felix, and that's usually fine. Then, as additional defense, we have the triggers for Therapits and 3 Balsas. Therapit just destroys opponent's creatures. Can also be useful in other matchups, but mostly it's for defense. Then we have the Balsas. This is purely for defense. Shield trigger, blocker, 4000 power. Very good against Rush. If it's some other matchup, you just and you find it in hand, you charge it. But against Rush 2, if you have it in hand, you just charge it to mana. Then we also have 1 Holio as a defense, but also to clear white boards against some decks. And then as the main defense, we have this 3 Ikas 2 Petrova, this 2-card combo. So these 2 cards combine to make an unbreakable wall against Affen Rush. So you just call Soul Trooper with Petrova, and then Ikas is 8000 power, and Affen Rush just can't get through with the builds they have. So that's pretty much it. And Affen Rush being the best deck in the meta, that is pretty useful to have. Then I have these cards here that are for both matchups really. This ramp package of Bronze Tribes, Slash Chargers and Sky Swords. Then ramp cards, those are good to get into the high cost cards, but those are also good as defense, especially Bronze Tribe. If you can get Felix on turn 2 and Bronze Tribe on turn 3, you're usually pretty fine against Rush. Of course, you still would prefer to have triggers too. But yeah, that's the plan. And the Slash Chargers are here as basically extra copies of Bronze Tribe. But they can serve some function against some decks. Against aggro, you can take away removal, and against controls, you can take away their high threat targets or recursion. And Dimension Gates are extra copies of basically any important card. We already have 4 of. Dimension Gates acts as more copies of those. So yeah, then one more thing about these cards, the Soul Swap. One of the best cards, if not the best card in the game, combined with Sky Sword as a defense and combined with Fortress Shell as offense. It is the card that makes this deck actually powerful, and we have 4 of those. Those also act as defensive triggers, and those can also get out this 2-card combo out quicker, because if you touch Petrova and swap out some other creature for Petrova, and you will have, when you have 6 mana, you will have 4 mana left when you have Petrova on field, and then you can play Ikas after that. Yeah, that's pretty much it for these. Then, as the main win con of the deck against most decks, we have 4 copies of Mistrias, and then 2 copies of Charmelia. That's basically more Mistvias, but a bit different. Those will, if not answered, those will win the game really quickly, because we have so many creatures that will just overwhelm the enemy. And against any other decks than Fire Control, you can just, when you swarm, you already win with that. If there's Fire Control, you will need Petrova to boost some targets, so you are not so vulnerable to mass removal. Then we also have the recursion package. We have 2 Fall Ikas and then 1 more Bit Medicine as a recursion loop, so we will have, we are not vulnerable to 1/, so the enemy will have to take out multiple times from our deck before we will no longer be able to get back our creatures from the grave. And Faligas also act as a good way to get back soul swaps, and then we play the Fortress Shell, which is the main win con of the deck against other controls. So our goal against control is to burn their mana, then burn their mana more with swapping out Fortress, then getting back soul swap, and then burning some more until we can just go for shields without any fear of retaliation. Then also against control we have 2 Lost Souls. We have good chances to win Lost Soul races against a lot of decks, because we have 7 copies of Turn 3 ramp, then we also have the 3 copies of Sky Sword. So we can go Bronze Tribe into another Bronze Tribe or Slash Charger or Sky Sword, and then on turn 5 we will have 7 mana to play Lost Soul. And then I have these cards here. They are basically tech cards. Ice Vape I would consider more important than these 2. Ice Vapor is really good card against other controls, because it just makes their life much harder, especially when you can get it out with another threat like Mistvias, so they will have to choose which to remove first, and if they don't remove Ice Vapor first, they will have to pay the Ice Vapor tax even more times. So when they cast spells, they will need to discard a card and burn a mana every time they cast a spell. So this can get out of hand really quickly if not answered. Usually it's answered pretty quickly, but it will take away resources pretty efficiently. So it will take out a card that, if, for example, if the enemy destroys this with Terror Pit, they will be minus that Terror Pit, minus 1 card from hand, and minus 1 mana. So that's 3 cards for this 1 card. So it's pretty efficient in a way of resources. Then we have 1 copy of Photoside as a tech card against Alzonius, but more so against Hydro Hurricane. So this can eat through light blocker walls and destroy enemy Petrovas or even boosted guardians like Palolysis. And that's pretty good at doing that. And also it's alright against Ruby and other like control cells that play for both of Faligas and Sky Sword, because it can still take out a lot of targets, but not so important there. And then we have Fighter Dual Fang. We have 7 Evo baits for it. We have the Bronze Types and Sky Swords as Beast Folk. And Fighter Dual Fang is just a good card. It will ramp us quicker to Fortress Shell, and it can also kill bigger creatures like Alzonius or Yaggles or sometimes, or just bigger creatures that might sometimes come on board. And it can also offer us some extra reach by being able to be a speed attacker from hand with the Bronze Drive into Dualfang. Pretty okay against matchups that are bad for us, like Survivors, because against those decks we usually have to start ending the game pretty quick, so this can offer us a bit more speed. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the cards. Next up, let's go to look at the matchups. Alright, welcome back to the second part of the video. Here I'm using a tier list maker to show you the matchups or what I think about them. And I will also show you some statistics from my IDC games on what the win rates have been against various decks. So we'll start off with these. This is a light nature rush list or aggro list. And I will put it in this who plays this category because don't really see it. Same with Hydrus. Don't really see it. Same with Starnode and Rob. I already prepared this, so these are pretty much not played. At least I don't think I've seen any played, and I don't have any real data on how these matchups would go. So, or at least maybe I have one match against Light Nature Rush, but not that many matches. Then I have Wave Strikers, which are not really that played, but I will put it here because I feel this is an extra bad matchup for this list. So I will just highlight it by putting it in this GG Go Next category. So if Wave Strikers would be more popular, I think our Light Darkness Nature Control would be a bit worse, but it's a list that doesn't really see much play, so we are free to raking those wins. Survivors is pretty much the only bad matchup that is, in my opinion, being played at any reasonable numbers. So I will put it in this luck needed category. That is a bit harder to categorize because there are survivor builds that are 3-color, there are survivor builds that are 4-color, and the colors even change on what the survivor builds are. But on average, survivors is a bad matchup for us. Some are even like GG Go Next category, but some are winnable at least. So I will put it in this luck needed category. Then I have Mana Bonanza, Please Totem. I mean, this is like close to unlosable, but maybe out of respect for Mana Bonanza users, I will put it in Easy Clap. So don't really see any issues beating Mana Bonanza decks. We ramp more consistently, we burn their mana usually before they even get the Bonanza. And even if they get the Bonanza, we can sometimes even then win, so pretty easy. Then we have Water Darkness Aggro. I think this is also in the Easy Clap category, because it's just a slower Ashen Rush basically, and while it does have some answers to the Igas, it also is just slower and we can just sky swap our way out of trouble against this list a lot of the time. It's harder than Mana Bonanza for sure, but it's still pretty easy matchup in my opinion. At least shouldn't be any worries. Then we have 4 bows. I think depending on the build, it's either pretty even or luck needed. There's many builds these days of this, and the 4 bows control doesn't really specify, like the list can be 10 cards different from another, so either it's pretty even or luck needed. I would put it in pretty even, because so far I haven't had trouble, but I don't have much data on that also. So could be it's in the survivor category, but I feel survivors is definitely a harder matchup, so I will put it here. Then I think this Petrova is supposed to like mean Alcadeas. With Alcadeas, haven't really played that. I don't think it would be much trouble. Maybe. I mean, maybe it could be a bit annoying. Hard to say. Maybe I'll put it in pretty even. I will put this in order like from better matchup to us to worse. So on the left we have the best out of these pretty even. So I think Alcadeas is easier than Phobos, but don't really have much data to support that. Don't really see much Alcadeas these days. Then we have this green, red, like by nature, darkness, water, control shell. I mean, I don't really think there's issues. Maybe it's a bit nicer than Phobos control, but maybe. I mean, I'm pretty conservative with this. I think it also could be like in the easy club category, but I just don't know. There's not really many games played yet against these. Then we have, what is this? This is Sky Sword, and is this the Ice Sword? This doesn't feel that bad. If this is the Ice Sword matchup, is that Prometheus? I don't know. I don't know what this is supposed to be, so I would put it maybe here. Hydro Hurricane, that's an even matchup. I guess I'll put it here. Could go either way. I think we might be slightly favored, but so it could be one day above. It's definitely not bad matchup, but I'll put it here. Alzonius. I mean, I have only played one match and I won that 2-0, but against that, but I mean, we have the photo side, we have the sky swap. It should be fine. Should be easy clap. Maybe even easier than Water Dark. Or maybe not. It's still a big creature. Not sure. I guess I'll put it there. Pincer aggro. I don't think that's that bad. I think any aggro we should be like in the easy clap category. Afan Rush, I think also in the easy clap category. We are doing very good against it. Maybe slightly worse than the Water Darkness. Yeah, should be around there. And this is Ruby Deckout. Not really many games played against this. Seems pretty even to me. They don't like their mana being burned, so that goes in my favor. They do have fire removal for our board, so that goes in their favor. So pretty even in my opinion. Alright, this was Rug aggro. Actually, yeah, that's also in the easy clap category, I don't think. Yeah, this is Afan Rush. Also easy clap. Rug aggro, I mean, I think maybe we should never lose like Rug aggro. I'm a certified Ragagro hater, so no respect for that. Fortress Shell. Interestingly enough, you would think our list looks like a worse Fortress Shell, but in actuality, from the games I've played, we are actually clapping them pretty easily. So, easy clap. Fortress Shell. I'd actually rather play Fortress Shell than Afron Rush, even at the moment, so I don't think there's many issues. Especially this is against the 50 card list, which is still more popular. 40 card, I would assume, is a bit better against us, so that might move it closer to pretty even. But against the 50 card Fortress Shell list, no problem with this list. So I will gladly face Fortress Shell. This fire or light nature aggro. I mean, no one is really playing it, but if they were playing it, we will never lose that, because why would we? Rap control. I mean, I think that's just worse Ruby against us. Bolmetheus can maybe once in a blue moon win a game, but should be easy clap. Maybe I can't there. Marino, if it's some Marino aggro, then I would like put it in this category too, but I also could put it here because no one is really playing that, so maybe I'll just put it here. And then yeah, this just leaves this. I'm not sure what this was supposed to be. Maybe it was Ice Sword. If it's Ice Sword, I will put it here. So I will consider this Ice Sword now, so I will put it in the easy club. But yeah, what I'm basing this on is this. These are my statistics against IDC. Like, these are my IDC games just listed out. These are from IDC 37 to IDC 43 Swiss. That is the latest we have. We haven't played the top 8 for IDC 43 yet. So in total I have 142 games played. That's not a lot, but that's also not a little, so that's some reason to believe these are like this is not nothing, but it's also not like conclusive, so more games definitely need to be played, but this is still decent enough sample size that I feel a deck guide should be made, and maybe that will encourage more people to play it so we can get more stats. So yeah, the highlights maybe from this that you can see is Afron Rush. That is the most played matchup, and so far we've won 21 games and lost 10 games, and our win rate is 67.74%, so that's pretty good. And our match win percent, so just counting the matches, 12 matches played, and we are winning 75% of them, so we are very happy with that. Against Fortress Burn, which is the second most played matchup, we are 12 and 3, so 12 wins, 3 losses in games, and 6 match wins, 0 match losses, so we have yet to lose against Fortress Burn. So this is why I'm putting the Fortress Burn in easy club. I mean, we could even bump it up. This is not many matches played, but still, Fortress Burn is getting destroyed at the moment. Water Dark, that's also one of the, like, that's 12 games, 9 wins, 3 losses, 75% wins. We have lost 1 match, that was unfortunately a final, I'm pretty sure, but still, overall, we are winning against that. Now, the worst matchup being here, you can see all the random survivors. There's 5 different survivalists I've listed here. Against the survivors, kind couple of the lists we are positive against with 1 or 2 matches played, and a couple we are losing. So, but I think with perfect play, survivors will have a good time against us. So we would not like to face survivors a lot, if that's possible, but we can decide that. But so that's definitely the biggest weakness of our deck, in my opinion. And yeah, against Hydro we are 50-50, not many games played. And against this light dark fire nature control with 55 cards and Mistreas, so far we are 2-5. This is only one player, Grave Corpse, is playing this in IDC. That's contributing to our losses a bit. But against anything else, like, it's green all around. One match lost against Waterfire, but I don't think that would be a problem with bigger sample size. Of course, some of these could go into red with bigger sample size too. But yeah, this is just something to take note of. Match in percent overall, 76.79%. Yeah. Let's move on to the last part. Alright, welcome to the last part of the video. Here we have one example match of the deck in action. This is from CIDC 6 and it's against Solomon. This is a game that I think the last game of this match was on stream, but the first game was not on stream when this tournament was streamed. So yeah, against Solomon playing Fortress Shell, we start with Bronze Tribe. That's good. We have more turn 3 ramp than him, so we are more likely to have it. Yeah, our Mistreas gets discarded, but I will slow it to 5x speed, so it's more easy to see what's happening. So yeah, we played a Bronze Tribe, we charged Mistreas, and then we swapped it out. Solomon calling us a locker. Of course, we are being lucky there, but they also discarded our Mistreas, so it was justice to get it back to mana and swap it out. So here Solomon needs to use the swap to get our Mistreas out of the field. And here we are already at 8 mana. They are not even at 7 yet, now they are. And we get to bring back the Mistreas. And here you can already see mana burn is not doing much in this stage. Of course it's still good, but it's not backbreaking to us. And there they have to use another swap to get rid of the Mistreas. And here we just slash away something. Usually against Fortress Shell it's one of the Fells, Fortress Shells, or situationally maybe Lost Soul. This is something more expensive that is harder to play on the same turn if they get it back somehow. So here we take one of the Fells. There they get back the Soul Swap with Faliga, and we get an Ice Vapor. So now, when they will want to burn us with the Fortress Shell, they will have to pay a tax for that. They'll have to burn a mana and discard a card. And we are at 9 mana, so the mana burn won't hurt us that much at first. So yeah, they're thinking a lot about their life choices, but here we are in a commanding position. And you might say the top deck quality with this deck is worse than the Fortress Shell deck, which is true in a way that we have more worse draws, but we also have the ace up our sleeve, which is the Miss Trias, that they just don't have that draw engine that can like win the game on the spot. That's why they have to respect it so much and remove it. And that prevented them from burning a lot of mana. Here we held the Lost Soul last turn because there was no reason to charge it there. And we get rid of one of the fortress cells that way. And here we're just holding. We don't have green mana, so we can play the fortress cell. But we're just waiting for green mana. They got rid of our Vapor, but that's not really a big issue. Still no green mana. We could play the Petrova out, the Beast Folks, but we can pause the game here. We have 20 cards in deck, they have 16, so we are already in a position, so we will be going for deck out in this game. They will deck out sooner than us. We could also aggro, but that would, at this point, it would just hand them the game. Maybe in a more desperate position we would need to do that, but here we just don't need to do anything. We just need to hold back, take it easy, wait for green mana, burn their mana. They don't have any pressure really to attack us. We have blockers in the way. Yeah, they're just playing a lot of cards, but not adding any pressure on the field at the moment. Here we play the Petrova. Beast Folk is a bit risky because they also have Beast Folks, so we push Soul Trooper, which they don't have. It also could be useful in a game state where they somehow get rid of our board a bit and start attacking. Then we have the Ikasis on them in the mana zone, so we could swap it out, and it's instantly an 8k blocker that can block infinitely. But this game is not really getting to that point because they are just not doing much. I will zoom out a bit so we can see the mana a bit more. But yeah, that's just returning cards. Now we get the green mana finally. Yeah, they're already at 9 cards. They get back the fortress cell, but we get the burn mana. They get the burn back our mana, but we don't care. They get rid of the fortress cell. And the game has already been over for quite some while. Yeah, and there Solomon finally scoops. So I think in the first game the highlight was just getting out the Mistrias and forcing the opponent to use their soul swaps that would be otherwise used to burn our mana, but just removing our threat. So we are putting out the threat first and they have to respond to it, and thus they don't get to do their game plan in a way they want. So we were in the driver's seat that game. And here we have the 3 mana ramp. We have 2 of them exactly. So we are trying to get another black source. So now we get another darkness source. Excuse me. So we can ramp again. So we get ramp to 7 mana. Next turn, thus we can Lost Soul them. This is very good against control decks that have usually a lot of cards in hand at this point. We also get to take some information from the deck. And at this point we know they will be stuck at 6 mana, at least for a bit. So, but we still take out the Fortress Cell because that's their ultimate game plan. They get the Trollfang out, which is really good for them. because they don't get stuck at 6 mana. So here it's actually not looking that great, but we still have the Faliga and the Mistrias, so they will have a lot of unplayable cards because they would give us more cards, and thus the Mistrias pulls us back in the game. We get a card draw, we get the Soul Swap back with Faliga. They burn some more mana, but we get more cards when they do that with Mistrias. Here we deploy Ice Vapor too. Now they are threatening to break 4 shields, but we do have the Soul Swap to Petrova at any time, so we're not that worried about them attacking. And we have lots of card advantage. Now they attack. Get the Holio. And here we can just play out Petrova, boost Guardians, play a Belix as well, and they would need a Lost Soul top deck pretty much right now to get back into the game. And even at that point, that would still not remove the Mistrias, so yeah, we boosted Guardians. They do have a Guardian on board, but it's only one attacker, so not really worried about that. And we have 8 cards, they have 0 cards. And here you can see Mistrias just carries us through this matchup. We just have so many more resources, even if our resources are not quite as good, we just have more of them to use. So we just brute force this. Oh, we just play out stuff. And more stuff wins less stuff. Yeah, and here we continue to burn. And it's over. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good example of why this deck wins the Fortress matchup. Of course, there's a lot of other matchups to consider, but this is just one example of a control matchup, which might be a bit harder to visualize how this deck wins, but the key card is Mistrias. Mistrias wins this. And we still have the same tools they do, but we have more threats earlier, so that's why we win. And we have more consistent ramp tools as well, so that's also a reason why we win. So yeah, perhaps later I will also do some games for FNWAS, but I think I will just do a tournament report that will showcase a lot of different matchups. So you can see this deck in action against a lot of decks, but that will be a different video. Yeah, for now, see you guys in the next video, and have a great one. See you.